Hi, this is Chris McKaylee, and uh, today's podcast video, I wanted to talk about the 1 year revolving door prohibition and when it begins and ends for those who leave government service. There are rules for those leaving government service, which we refer to as the revolving door prohibition. And this is, of course, the revolving door between the public and private sectors. Now, Article 4, Section 5E of the California Constitution provides the legislature shall enact laws that prohibit a member of the legislature whose term of office commences on or after December 3rd, 1990, from lobbying for compensation as governed by the Political Reform Act of 1974 before the legislature for 12 months after leaving office. The California Government Code in Title 9, Chapter 7, Article 4, it concerns the disqualification of former officers and employees. It begins with Government Code Section 87406A, which is known as the Milton Marks Post-Government Employment Restrictions Act of 1990, authored by then State Senator Milton Marks. The act applies to private sector work engaged in by former legislators. And these provisions of the government code are found in the Political Reform Act of 1974, which places restrictions upon legislators and certain other public officials when they leave government service. And basically, the rule is that after leaving the legislature, a former member of the state Senate or a former member of the state assembly has a 1 year prohibition on certain activities, which is namely to be paid to lobby for compensation the legislature. Now, this 1 year ban on legislators is actually extended if the legislator resigns from office before the expiration of his or her term. This additional extension on top of the 1 year ban was enacted in Assembly Bill 1620, which was Chapter 800 in 2017. And according to the Senate Elections and Constitutional Amendments Committee analysis of AB 1620, the length of the term would be extended based on when, during the 2 year session, the elected official decided to resign early. And this is intended to discourage elected officials from leaving before their term ends by lengthening the time before they can participate in certain types of influential communications or activities. And according to our Fair Political Practices Commission in California, the post-employment activities of a former state legislator are restricted in that the former legislator cannot, for 1 year or more, be paid to communicate with their former colleagues in the legislature in an attempt to influence actions or proceedings. The FPPC goes on to explain that additionally, beginning January 1, 2018, the 1 year ban applies to a member of the legislature who resigns from office, beginning with the date of resignation and ending 1 year after the end of the session in which the resignation occurred. So this general rule is found in Government Code Section 87406B1, which provides that a member of the legislature for a period of 1 year after leaving office shall not for compensation act as agent or attorney for or otherwise represent any other person by making any formal or informal appearance or by making any oral or written communication before the legislature, any committee or subcommittee thereof, any present member of the legislature, or any officer or employee thereof, if the appearance or communication is made for the purpose of influencing legislative action. This is the 1 year revolving door prohibition, which again normally begins when a legislator's term of office ends, which is November 30th of the even numbered year. However, as mentioned, Government Code Section 87406B2 provides a different rule for a legislator who leaves office before his or her term has officially ended. This section specifies that a member of the legislature who resigns from office for a period commencing with the effective date of their resignation and concluding 1 year after the adjournment sine die of the session in which the resignation occurred, shall not for compensation act as agent or attorney for, or otherwise represent any other person by making any formal or informal appearance, or by making any oral or written communication before the legislature, any committee or subcommittee thereof, any present member of the legislature, or any officer or employee thereof, if the appearance or communication is made for the purpose of influencing legislative action.